This is what we call a pickup shot. My last video went way too long. I had to cut it in half, and so I had to film a new intro for the second video, hence the new shirt. Now that you have a list of managers and management companies to approach, what do? Unfortunately, it doesn't get much more exciting than sending a cold email. If you're a writer, it's part of the gig. With this email, I'm trying to build intrigue about the pilot or about a feature script. So I'll want to include like a log line or maybe even an excerpt. I try to get them intrigued about other projects I'm working on. Tell them why I want a manager. It's in my best interest to get them excited about me. Hopefully they are going to take a stake in my creativity and how it progresses. But at the end of the day, it's about me getting a job and they're getting a percentage. This email really has to speak to them and it really has to grab them. If you don't get their attention in the first couple of lines, they're not going to read it. You need to have more than one script. I think 3 is good, and that's how I'm going out. I'm going out with a pilot and a secondary episode, which are written and locked and are ready to show. And then I've got 2 feature scripts that are also ready to go. Have that one paragraph where you have a summation of the 3 or 4 projects. Make sure that log line is no more than a couple of lines. You don't want to give them your whole life story. You want to entice them to talk to you. So don't give everything up in the letter. Keep some things back. Get them intrigued to ask you questions. In my limited experience, every time I've ever met with a producer or a showrunner or anybody, the first thing they ask me, what else are you working on? Managers want to know that you have ideas and that you're constantly writing, that there's something coming up in the queue. This isn't a cold email looking for a job. This isn't the cover letter to your resume. This is part of your voice. To whom it may concern, ain't gonna cut it. Attention Kmart shoppers, also not gonna cut it. Well, okay, maybe you've got a killer comedy, then something like that might be pretty good. This is an exhausting process, and I know the temptation. Once you write that sort of like killer one email, you figure, you know what? This is gonna work for everybody, but it won't. So take the time, personalize it. Make sure that the communication is only for that person. This is an opportunity for you to share your voice. Get them intrigued about the way you see the world. You want to give them a sense of who you are as a writer. And right now, that's the way you string words together. That's the way you construct sentences. If you have a sense of humor, drop some jokes. If you're a film nerd, let them know what you've got in store for them. Think about this as like an elevator speech from the lobby to the rooftop bar. You want to be about that long. Listen, I'd also recommend having a good spreadsheet. Keep track of the date that you send out these email, who you send it to, their contact information, so that you can circle back and reapproach them in a couple of weeks, because it's going to be essential. Remember, in this game, you always have to be putting yourself out there. Don't fret over who you're sending it to. I mean, the worst thing they're going to say to you is no. Actually, the worst thing they can say to you is nothing. You'll never hear back from them. But if you're lucky, you'll get a response. It never hurts to ask. I'm calling this a postscript pickup shot, and I don't know why. Unlike, say, major news media organizations, I'm gonna kind of fess up when I screw something up. And I think I may have screwed something up. In the previous video, when I was talking about blind submissions, I was under the mistaken impression that we weren't allowed to approach certain management companies, period. Turns out I was wrong. A blind submission is sending your script to them without their asking. There are a few management companies that will take it. Most management companies, most agencies and studios, what have you, they need a query letter. And then the query letter allows them to formally ask you to submit the script. The reason we do this is because of the Art Buchwald case. So back in 1988, when a little movie called Coming to America came out and made about $200 million for Paramount Pictures, this writer named Art Buchwald, who was a humorist, said to himself, "Gee whiz, this script looks a lot like the script that I sent Paramount Pictures last year. A script that I thought would be great for Eddie Murphy." Well, as it turns out, Coming to America only credited Eddie Murphy for the script, even though when a judge looked at both, he said, "Wow, this script looks a lot like Art Buchwald's script." So every studio, every production company, every management company, every agency said, we can't take blind submissions anymore. We can't just take somebody's script. We have to ask for it. That way, we can't get sued. Now, am I 100% sure I'm right on this? I'm like 85%. I mean, sure, I could go back and research and make sure I was right, but you know what? This is YouTube. This is the best you're getting. Oh, and by the way, if you like your content in short bursts of time, I'm gonna start filming YouTube Shorts. Look for them.